We're going on a local New Year's road trip on North Carolina Highway 24. Come on, let's go. Alright, Happy New Year, and to start off the new year, we're going to be doing North Carolina Highway 24. The reason I chose North Carolina 24 is because it's 24 and it's 2024, and also North Carolina 24 is the longest state highway here in North Carolina. It has 14 different concurrencies, all which with one of these highways shown on the screen, twice with it. It also connects the cities of Charlotte to Fayetteville to Jacksonville to the town of Morehead City on the coast. So let's get started with North Carolina 24. If you've been enjoying my highways content or any of my other content, be sure to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button so you're notified of all my future highways videos. And guess what? I'm now open to extra requests. All of the future highways that I'm going to be doing are listed down in the description below. So if you wanted any extra requests for the future highways, be sure to look down in the description and put your request down in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to shout you out. Let's get started with as you can see here, North Carolina 24 begins in northwest Charlotte, travels through Charlotte until it meets North Carolina 27. North Carolina 24 and 27 then have a long concurrency before we enter into the city of Fayetteville, where North Carolina 24 continues into Fayetteville and heads east towards Jacksonville, and then travels through the city of Jacksonville before it meets US Highway 70 and over in Morehead City on the coast. So that when we talk about eastbound North Carolina 24. So North Carolina 24 begins here at a junction with Interstate 485, and we just get 24 for Harris Boulevard. Fun fact about Harris Boulevard that it is named after the founders of Harris Teeter, a local grocery store chain that is around here. And our first major intersection on North Carolina 24 is Interstate 77, and 77 gets signed south for Charlotte, while 77 north gets no comment. Here I'm meaning US Highway 21, the road that parallels Interstate 77. And shortly after leaving US Highway 21, we're now meaning Interstate 85, which gets south for Charlotte, which is absolutely correct, but north for Kannapolis. Why Kannapolis? That should be Greensboro. Kannapolis is a suburb of Charlotte. That definitely should be Greensboro. Why NC Dot? Why do you do what you do? Here I mean US Highway 29, the road that parallels Interstate 85 all the way up to Greensboro, which 85 should be signed for. And here I mean North Carolina Highway 27, and now 27 and 24 are going to be forming a 100 plus mile concurrency with each other. And here are meeting Interstate 45 on the eastern side of Charlotte. And once we leave the Charlotte area, we get our first mileage sign. Albemarle is 27 miles away, while Carthage is on the bottom line at 76, which I think is a good choice because you meet US 15 and 501 in Carthage. Here I mean US Highway 601. Here in the Albemarle area, we're meeting US Highway 52 and North Carolina Highway 73. US 52 is going to be continuing northwest of here, while 73 is actually going to be joining North Carolina 24 and 27 as they head through the town together. Carolina Highway 73 leaves. We're now meeting Interstate 73 and 74 and US 220, which is signed for north for Asheboro and south for Rockingham. When did we come to Pennsylvania? I didn't know the difference because both state DOTs are so similar at their control city signage. Here I mean US 15501 here in Carthage, and now we're going to be joining with North 15501. And here's North Carolina 24 and 27 leaving the 15501 to head east towards Fayetteville. And on our next mileage time, we have Cameron 7 miles away and Fayetteville 37. And here in Cameron, we're meeting US Highway 1, and on US 1 itself, 24 and 27 is signed for Cameron, Lillington, and Fayetteville. Honestly, this is a great sign because it's telling you where North Carolina 27 is going, along with North Carolina Highway 24. 24 is going to Fayetteville, while 27 is heading towards Lillington. Here is the split with North Carolina 27, as North Carolina 27 now heads north towards Lillington and Barbecue. Here's a road that leads you to a local church, Spratt Springs Church of Christ. And here in the Spratt Springs area, we're now joining with North Carolina Highway 87 where North Carolina 24 and 87 are going to be concurrent with each other as we now head towards Fayetteville. Here's North Carolina Highway 210, and 210 South is going to be joining with 24 East and 87 South for Fayetteville. Here's North Carolina 24 and 87 splitting off from 210 to head towards Fort Bragg, which is absolutely a good choice. And here's North Carolina 24 and 87 splitting off from Interstate 295. We're just signed south for Bragg Boulevard. Here are main US Highway 401 in the city of Fayetteville. And here's North Carolina 87 splitting off from North Carolina 24 to head towards. Here are meeting North Carolina 210 once again, and 210 and 24 are going to be concurrent as we head towards eastern Fayetteville. Here's North Carolina 210 splitting off from North Carolina 24, and 53 is actually going to be joining with 210. And now we're meeting Interstate 95, which gets the abysmal control cities of Benson and Lumberton. Why? Why, NC Dot? Why? And it gets worse on the distributor lanes. 95 is signed south for Lumberton, while 95 north gets the Dunn and Benson. That should be Richmond and Florence, or Richmond and Savannah. Not those towns, please. Here in the Clinton area, now we're joining with US 421 and US 701. And 24 is going to be joining with 421 South and 701 South. Here's North Carolina 24 splitting off from US 421 and 701 to head east towards Warsaw. And that's where North Carolina 24 meets Interstate 40. Now our next mileage time, we get Warsaw 12 miles away and Kenansville 21. Here in Warsaw, we're meeting Interstate 40, and we're going to be joining with Interstate 40 East for 11 miles. And here's North Carolina 24 splitting off from Interstate 40 to head east towards Magnolia and Kenansville. And here's North Carolina Highway 50, which actually takes you into Raleigh if you take it. Have North Carolina 24 splitting off from North Carolina Highway 903 east of Kenansville. And North Carolina 24 will take you to Beulahville and Jacksonville. And once North Carolina 24 splits off from North Carolina 903, we have another mileage time. Beulahville is 10 miles away, while we now get a mention of Jacksonville, North Carolina, which is 37 miles away. Here are meeting US 258 and Richlands, and 258 and 24 are going to be current with each other as we head towards Jacksonville. Here in the Jacksonville area, 258 is splitting off from North Carolina Highway 24, and now North Carolina 24 and 53 are going to be current with each other as we head towards Wilmington, Camp Lejeune, and New Bern. In the Jacksonville area, we have North Carolina 24 joining US 17, as we have both control cities for 24 and 17 on the same sign, while 17 gets the awesome souths for Wilmington. Here is splitting off from US 17 in the Jacksonville area, and 24 is now signed east for Camp Lejeune and Morehead City, which is, I think, good choices, because that's where North Carolina 24 is going to be ending at. Stop looking at me, Swan. Here are meeting North Carolina Highway 58, which you can take to get to Emerald Isle and Fort Macon State Park, or you can take 58 north to Trenton. I looked up Trenton, North Carolina, and guess how many people it has? 250. Well, then again, it's a state highway, so I don't know how many people would be taking 58. 24 still gets a mention of Morehead City. And here in Morehead City, we're having a Florida-style stoplight intersection, and we actually get a nice cool end sign here at a junction with US 70. So we're going to be turning around and doing westbound North Carolina Highway 24. So here we begin on US Highway 70, we get a 224 west sign. And once we go on to North Carolina Highway 24 itself, we get a 3 sign mileage sign. And Swansboro is on the bottom line at 21 miles away. Why? It should be Jacksonville. Here I'm in North Carolina Highway 58 once again. Here in the Jacksonville area, we're now going to be joining with US 17, and 17 and 24 is signed south for Wilmington, which is actually a good choice, because that's where US 17 goes. Honestly, you can put Wilmington and Fayetteville on there, but I think Wilmington is a good choice. Here is US 17 splitting off from North Carolina Highway 24, And we're now getting Richlands and Kingston, because that's where both 24 and 258 go to. Here's US 258 joining North Carolina Highway 24, and we're still getting the Richland and Kingston. Here's US 258 splitting off from North Carolina Highway 24, and we actually get a mention to Interstate 40 sign. That's cool. Here joining North Carolina Highway 903, and we're going to be concurrent with 903 up until Interstate 40. And here are joining Interstate 40 west for 11 or 9 miles. And here is North Carolina 24 splitting off from Interstate 40 to head west towards Warsaw and Clinton. And once we get on to North Carolina 24, we actually pass by this rest stop here. It's called the Exit 364 rest stop, and it's built actually between the medians of 40 East and 40 West. And the only way you can access it is by getting onto the North Carolina 24 exit. Also, I stopped at this rest stop here before. I was on a school field trip to Myrtle Beach, and we stopped here just to rest up and have a few snacks. It was a cool rest stop. And once we pass through Warsaw, we're now entering into the town of Clinton, where we're going to be re-merging into US 701 and 421. Here's North Carolina 24 leaving US 701 and 421 to head west toward Roseboro and Fayetteville. Fayetteville is absolutely correct. Roseboro is alright, it's fine as a secondary. And once we get back into the Fayetteville area, we get this abysmal sign of Interstate 95 for Benson and Lumberton. And once we re-enter into the city of Fayetteville itself, we're getting North Carolina 210 and North Carolina 53 once again. And here's North Carolina 210 splitting off from North Carolina 24 to head through a separate area of Fayetteville. Here's North Carolina 87 reuniting with North Carolina 24 as they head through town together. Here are meeting US Highway 401 once again, and 401 is signed north for Lillington, while 401 is signed south for Rayford. Here we're joining Interstate 295 once again, and this time we get no control cities. I wonder why. And here's the exit for 24 West and 87 North for just Murchison Road and Spring Lake. And once we leave the Fayetteville area, we actually pass right by Checkers, which is a fast food restaurant that I remember going to all the time when I lived in the Huntsville area. And here's North Carolina 210 splitting off from North Carolina 24 and 87. But we just get the control cities for 87 and not for 24. Here's North Carolina 24 splitting off from North Carolina 87 to head west towards Carthage, which again I think is a good choice. If we leave from North Carolina 87, we have another mileage sign, Cameron on the top line at 13 miles away, and Carthage 22. Here are reuniting with North Carolina Highway 27, and 27 and 24 are to be concurrent with each other as we head towards the city of Charlotte. Here in the Cameron area, we're now meeting US 1 once again. Here in the Carthage area, reuniting with the 15 and 501. And here's the 15 501 splitting off from North Carolina 24 and 27. Here I'm meeting North Carolina or Interstate 73 and 74 and 220 once again. Here I'm meeting US Highway 52 and Albemarle once again. Here I'm meeting US Highway 601 just outside of Charlotte itself. And here's the eastern meeting of Interstate 45 in Charlotte. Here's North Carolina 24 splitting off from North Carolina 27. Here I'm meeting US Highway 29 once again. And now this time I didn't show the control cities because I'm pretty sure they'll be the same as they were eastbound 24. Here I'm meeting US Highway 21 once again. Here I'm meeting Interstate 77, which again has the same control cities, which is absolutely not correct. Well, southbound is for Charlotte, northbound should not be Statesville. Tell me what you think Interstate 77 should be down in the comments. And shortly after that, we're meeting Interstate 45 once again, and we get this nice end North Carolina 24 west sign, which is cool. For that, we're going to be ending North Carolina 24 and talking about Oh, the places that I'll go in North Carolina 24. So since I live in North Carolina, I've actually been on separate parts of North Carolina 24. So I'm going to actually be listing the places that I want to visit for the parts I haven't been on 24, and the places that I'll revisit if I was ever on North Carolina 24 once again. So these are the places that I visit on North Carolina 24. So first I'd actually visit the city of Charlotte, because I don't think I've ever been to the city of Charlotte. And I also visit the town of Albemarle, where it meets US 52, and then the town of Carthage, and the town of Cameron. Next, I've actually been to North Carolina 24 in the city of Fayetteville, so I revisit Fayetteville, and the Airborne and Special Operations Museum in downtown Fayetteville. I'd again then visit the town of Clinton, then revisit the Warsaw Rest Stop just to check out what it's like 10 years later. I actually visit the town of Eulerville because it's actually on my bucket list of places I want to go. And I actually want to visit the city of Jacksonville, North Carolina, so I can say I've been to a Jacksonville. And I actually revisit Swansboro, and then finally I'd revisit Morehead City because I also stayed in Morehead City. So that ends North Carolina Highway 24. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of North Carolina Highway 24. I hope you guys learned a lot about this state highway and more about state highways in North Carolina. For my next couple weeks, I'm going to be doing northbound US Highway 11 next week, and then Baltimore-Washington Parkway the following week after that, and then following up with US 11 southbound. So if you have any extra requests for any of those highways, be sure to put them down in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.